Every morning, you have a choice to drift through life on autopilot or to step into the driver's seat of your mind. These 11 power phrases aren't just words. They are the fuel that ignites you. Energy sharpens your focus and transforms your beliefs into unstoppable action. When you speak them with conviction, when you feel them in your body, you're not just thinking you're programming your destiny. Remember, your mind is like a garden. Whatever you water will grow. So water it with empowerment, clarity, and possibility every single morning. Own your words, own your life, and watch how unstoppable you become. State is everything. Before you can achieve anything meaningful in your life, before you can take decisive action, before you can inspire others, you must first manage the state you bring into every moment. Most people wake up and go through the motions. They allow their environment, the news, or the chaos of the world to dictate how they feel. But the truth is, your state is not determined by circumstances. It is determined by the signals you send to your body and mind. When you wake up, you have the power to prime your mind, to charge your body with energy, to choose a state of focus, confidence, and determination. Your body remembers more than your mind ever could, and your physiology, the way you stand, the way you breathe, the way you move speaks directly to your nervous system. If you slump, sigh, or scroll endlessly, you communicate to yourself that you are tired, overwhelmed, or powerless. But if you stand tall, breathe deeply, and move with intention, you tell your system, I am alive, I am capable, I am ready. State management is about taking absolute responsibility for how you feel, regardless of what is happening outside. It is about recognizing that your inner condition is the soil from which all results grow. If your state is poor, your focus is scattered, your decisions are weak, and your actions are hesitant. If your state is strong, you radiate confidence, clarity, and determination, and the world responds to you differently. This is why champions, leaders, and high performers have morning ritual. They control their state before the world demands anything from them. They move their bodies, they breathe, they visualize, they affirm. They anchor themselves in power, not in excuses. And here's the key. State management is not just about positive thinking. It's about physiological priming, emotional mastery, and deliberate focus. You can't afford to wait for motivation to appear. Motivation comes after action, not before it. By controlling your state first, you create momentum that carries you through challenges, obstacles, and resistance. You become resilient because you are anchored in a resourceful place. So tomorrow morning, don't reach for your phone. Don't check what others are doing. Instead, take control of your body, your breath, and your mind. Stand tall, breathe deep, and claim the energy you deserve. Decide that today, no matter what happens, you will operate from a state of power, clarity, and unstoppable momentum. Because when you manage your state, you don't just navigate life, you command it. Everything else flows from there. The words you speak are far more than sounds. They are the architects of your reality. Every word you choose to say to yourself and others carries energy, and that energy either builds you up or tears you down. Most people underestimate the power of language. They allow negative, disempowering phrases to flow freely through their minds, shaping beliefs they didn't even consciously choose. But here's the truth. The words you repeat to yourself every day become your identity. They create the mental pathways that determine how you see possibilities, how you respond to challenges, and how you act in pursuit of your dreams. When you say, I can't, I'm not good enough, or this is too hard, your mind takes those words as commands. And your body follows. Your physiology, your emotions, your decisions, and ultimately your results align with the story you tell yourself. On the other hand, when you intentionally choose empowering, uplifting, and affirming language, you begin to reprogram your mind for success. Words like, I am capable, I am growing, I can handle this, or today I step in. My power act as neural fuel, creating belief structures that support bold action. This is not just motivational fluff, it is biology. Words shape your neural networks. They alter your chemical state. They shift your emotions and your energy. Tony Robbins often emphasizes that meaning is power. The meaning you attach to your words and the words you allow yourself to hear determine the level of energy you bring into each moment. When you adopt power phrases, you are literally telling your nervous system how to perform, how to respond, and how to overcome. This is why it's critical to create a conscious morning ritual of affirmations, declarations, and empowering statements. When you speak with intention, when you feel the words in your body, when you repeat them consistently, You are planting seeds that grow into confidence, clarity, and unstoppable momentum. The words you choose become the filter through which you see your world. If your words are filled with limitation, scarcity, and fear, your perception will mirror that. If your words are filled with possibility, strength, and courage, your reality expands to match. The key is awareness. You must catch yourself every time you fall into self-criticism, negativity, or doubt. Replace those words with phrases that fuel belief, that awaken action, that ignite courage. The language you use shapes your identity, and your identity shapes your destiny. Every morning, commit to speaking life into yourself. Commit to words that elevate your spirit, your mindset, and your results. Because when you harness the power of words, you are not just thinking differently, you are creating a new reality, one phrase at a time. Success is not an accident, it is the result of consistent, intentional action. And at the heart of that intentionality are daily rituals, small, repeated practices that prime your mind, body, and spirit for excellence. Most people underestimate the power of routine, dismissing it as boring or unnecessary. But the truth is that your daily habits compound over time, shaping the trajectory of your entire life. The way you start your morning sets the tone for everything that follows. If you wake up and immediately react to notifications, distraction, or stress, you give your power away before the day even begins. But if you take control with deliberate rituals, you anchor yourself in clarity, energy, and purpose. These rituals are not arbitrary. They're designed to condition your mind for peak performance. They might include movement to energize your body, breathing exercises to center your mind, journaling to clarify your intentions, or reciting empowering phrases to reprogram your beliefs. Each practice, no matter how small, sends a message to your nervous system. Today, I am in control. Daily rituals also create a sense of certainty in an uncertain world. Life will throw challenges, setbacks, and distractions your way, but when you have routine that ground you, you operate from a place of strength rather than reaction. They are your anchor in the storm, your tool to shift from autopilot to deliberate mastery. Furthermore, these rituals train your brain to expect excellence. By repeating empowering actions each morning, you build neural pathways that make focus, discipline, and high performance automatic. Over time, what once required effort becomes second nature, and your daily habits start producing results without constant struggle. Consistency is the real magic. You don't need perfect rituals. You need consistent ones. The small actions repeated daily outweigh sporadic bursts of effort every time. Every morning you have the opportunity to choose rituals that align with your goals, your values, and the person you aspire to become. When you commit to these practices, you create momentum. Momentum is what separates those who dream from those who achieve. The energy generated by consistent rituals propels you into action, fuels your decisions, and amplifies your productivity. Remember, it's not about motivation alone. Motivation is fleeting. Rituals create structure, discipline, and momentum that carry you even when motivation wanes. So take charge of your mornings. Design rituals that energize your body, sharpen your mind, and empower your spirit. Make them non-negotiable. Guard them fiercely. Because the way you begin your day determines the way you live your life. Daily rituals are not just habits. They are the architecture of your success, the foundation upon which extraordinary lives are built. Commit to them. Honor them. And watch how they transform your days, your mindset, and ultimately your destiny. The limiting beliefs are invisible chains that hold people back from achieving their true potential. They are the stories we tell ourselves about who we are, what we can do, and what is possible in our lives. Most of the time, we are completely unaware of them. They live in the background of our minds, shaping our decisions, actions, and results without us even realizing it. A limiting belief might sound like, I'm not smart enough, I don't have the resources, or success is for other people, not me. These beliefs create invisible barriers, convincing your mind that the risk of failure is too great, that effort is wasted, or that your dreams are unattainable. But here's the truth. Beliefs are not facts. They are choices. They are patterns of thought that can be challenged, changed, and replaced. Shifting limiting beliefs begins with awareness. You must catch yourself the moment you think a disempowering thought. You must question it, dissect it, and recognize that it is not absolute. It is merely a perspective that can be altered. Once you recognize a limiting belief, you can replace it with an empowering one. Instead of saying, I can't do this, say, I can learn to do this. I can figure it out. I'm capable of growth. Instead of saying, This is impossible, say challenges or opportunities. Every obstacle has a solution. These new beliefs are not just feel-good affirmations, they are neural rewiring. When you repeatedly choose empowering thoughts, you create new mental pathways that strengthen your confidence, courage, and resilience. Tony Robbins emphasizes that your beliefs determine your identity, and your identity determines your destiny. If you continue to operate under limiting beliefs, your potential will always be capped. If you shift your beliefs, you expand what is possible, opening doors that once seemed closed. The process also requires action. It's not enough to think differently, you must act differently. Every step you take aligned with your new belief reinforces it. Action proves to your mind that the old belief is no longer valid. The more you practice this, the faster your transformation. Over time, what once felt impossible becomes achievable. The fear that once paralyzed you becomes fuel that propels you forward. Shifting limiting beliefs is not a one-time event. It is a daily commitment. Every day, confront the stories that limit you, challenge them, and choose thoughts and actions that empower you. Surround yourself with people, environments, and information that reinforce what is possible. Remember, your beliefs are not destiny. They are instructions. Rewrite them consciously, powerfully, and consistently. When you shift limiting beliefs, you unlock your potential, amplify your energy, and step into a life of freedom, possibility, and extraordinary achievement. You become unstoppable because the only limits that ever existed were the ones you allowed in your mind. An action-oriented mindset is the difference between dreaming about success and actually achieving it. Many people spend countless hours planning, visualizing, and strategizing, but without decisive action, all of that energy is wasted. Ideas alone do not create results, momentum does. The most successful people in the world understand that clarity without action is meaningless, and knowledge without execution is powerless. An action-oriented mindset is a commitment to moving forward even when conditions are not perfect, even when fear whispers wait, and even when uncertainty clouds your path. It is the relentless drive to do, to experiment, to learn, and to grow through experience. Tony Robbins often says the decisions are the ultimate power. Every time you decide to act, you are sending a message to yourself and to the universe that you are ready to claim your destiny. But action must be massive and purposeful. Small, half-hearted steps rarely change your life. Bold, decisive action shift your identity and create momentum that carries you forward. The mindset of action also requires resilience. You will encounter obstacles, setbacks, and failures. That is inevitable. But an action-oriented mindset treats failure not as a verdict, but as feedback. Each misstep provides information that informs your next move. You learn faster, adjust more strategically, and move with greater precision. Another essential element is timing. Waiting for the perfect moment is a trap. There's no perfect moment, there is only now. The more you delay action, the more your own fears and doubts grow stronger. Action shrinks fear because it generates clarity, energy, and confidence. The moment you act, you take control. Every day, cultivate the habit of asking yourself, what is the next step I can take right now that moves me closer to my goal? Start with that step, then the next, then the next. Each action compounds into results, each decision builds momentum, and each small victory reinforces the belief that you are capable, resourceful, and unstoppable. Action-oriented thinking also transforms your identity. When you consistently act, you stop identifying as someone who dreams, worries, or procrastinates. You become someone who solves problems, takes charge, and delivers results. Your life begins to reflect the power of your choices. Finally, an action-oriented mindset is about living with urgency and purpose. Time is your most precious resource, and every moment wasted waiting, hesitating, or overthinking is a moment lost. Decide to act today fully and with commitment. Commit to taking steps that matter, steps that move you closer to your vision, and steps that stretch you beyond your comfort zone. Momentum is built not in theory, but in practice. Remember, it is not enough to know what to do. You must do what you know. Action transforms knowledge into mastery, ideas into results, and potential into extraordinary achievement. When you adopt an action-oriented mindset, you no longer wait for life to happen. You make life happen, and you make it extraordinary. Your mind is the most powerful tool you will ever possess. But its power is unlocked only through intentional focus, disciplined practice, and consistent action. The words you speak The beliefs you hold, the rituals you perform, and the decisions you make every morning shape the trajectory of your life. Each phrase, each declaration, each deliberate action is a seed planted in the fertile soil of your mind, seeds that grow into unstoppable momentum, unwavering confidence, and extraordinary results. You are not a product of circumstance. You are a product of your choices. Choose to rise every morning with clarity, energy, and purpose. Choose words that empower, beliefs that expand, and actions that move you closer to your dreams. And remember, mastery is not about perfection, it is about persistent commitment and the courage to take the next step no matter what. Own your morning, own your state, and in doing so, you will own your life. Power to transform your destiny is in your hands. Speak it, believe it, act on it, and watch as your life becomes the extraordinary story you were always meant to live.